After my encounter with the reality benders, I began to notice the changes. Not in the world around me. At least, not at first. The changes were in myself. Small things at first. Memories that didn't belong to me began appearing in my mind. I would suddenly know things I had never learned. Names of people I'd never met. Locations I'd never visited. Events I'd never witnessed. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. Then I realized the truth was far worse. The reality benders had marked me. During those 7 hours in the central chamber, something had been transferred between us. They had given me pieces of themselves. Fragments of consciousness that had accumulated over millennia of feeding on human memory. And in return, they had taken pieces of me. I could feel the gaps where my own memories should be. Childhood events. Faces of friends. Moments that had defined who I was. All fading. Replaced by something else entirely. I tried to document what was happening. Every morning, I would wake up and immediately write down everything I could remember from the day before. It was an exercise in futility. The memories I recorded were no longer mine. I was becoming an archivist of someone else's existence. A vessel for consciousnesses that had long since lost their original forms. The physical changes came next. My reflection in mirrors began to shift. Sometimes showing a face I didn't recognize. My voice would occasionally change mid-sentence. Speaking words in languages I had never learned. And the dreams were the worst every night. I would experience lifetimes that weren't mine. I would live as people from centuries past. From places that no longer existed. From realities that perhaps had never been real at all. I sought help. Doctors. Therapists. Spiritual advisors. Anyone who might have answers. Most dismissed me as delusional. A few listened with growing horror as I described the reality benders and what they were. Those few usually ended our sessions abruptly, referring me to colleagues who never returned my calls. I later learned that several of them had experiences of their own. Experiences they couldn't explain. Experiences that connected to the reality benders. 6 weeks after my initial encounter, I received a package at my apartment. No return address. No postage marks. Inside was a journal. One of the journals I had found in an abandoned observatory. But this one was different. It contained coordinates, names, and dates. A pattern emerged as I studied it. The reality benders wasn't random in their selection. They were building something. A network of connected consciousness, spreading across the world. And I was now part of that network. I could feel the others sometimes. Sensations that weren't my own would wash over me. Fear from someone in a different country. Recognition from someone I had never met. The boundaries between myself and them were dissolving. Every day, I became less me, and more us. I began to understand what the reality benders truly was. They weren't a single entity. They were a collective. A hive mind composed of every consciousness they had absorbed over thousands of years. Ancient peoples who had encountered them first, explorers who had stumbled into their domain. Curious seekers like myself. All of them merged into something greater and more terrible. And now they wanted me to help them expand. They showed me visions of what they were planning. A world where the boundaries between minds no longer existed. Where every thought was shared. Every memory preserved forever. A world without forgetting. It sounded almost beautiful. Until I understood the cost individual consciousness would cease to exist, there would be no more. Only the reality benders. Story scene number 705,899. Unique, unforgettable, and perhaps, ultimately, inescapable.